Hello friends, welcome to my channel again. Today's topic is running biomechanics. Here we will see what are the various phases of running, what are the different running styles, how injuries happen. All this we will see in today's topic. So first of all, I have taken this most of the content from this journal article, The Biomechanics of Running and Running Styles, published in Sports Biomechanics in 2021. First of all, we have to be familiar with the various terms used in running. First is the step frequency. Step frequency is the number of steps taken per minute. Then step length. Step length is the distance between our first and second step, like left and right step. Then stance time. Stance time is the time taken from the heel strike to the lift off. Then the flight time. Flight time is the time during which both of our feet are in the air, and vertical displacement is the how much we vertically displace upwards while running. So we will see now step frequency and step length are the most important things, so we will study these further. Here you can see on the x-axis is the running speed, and on y-axis are the various other components. Here you can see that first we will see step length. Step length usually plateaus around higher running speed, like after 25 the step length is plateaus, and the step frequency it progressively keeps on increasing with the increasing speed. So it means that if you want to increase speed further, you can't increase it by increasing step length, you have to increase your step frequency. So what are the muscles used for this step length and step frequency? To increase our speed, the most important muscles are the ankle plantar flexus, our soleus and the gastrocnemius muscles. These should be strengthened if you want to increase your step length. And what if you want to increase your step frequency? To increase step frequency, the muscles mostly are around our hip, the iliopsoas, the gluteus maximus and the hamstrings. These are the three muscles we need to strengthen to increase our step frequency. So now we will see what should be the ideal leg configuration at the initial contact. As you can see, we can number this cartoon as 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. First cartoon is the ideal one because here the body center of mass it is closest to the contact point. This distance should be as less as possible, and the knee should be slightly flexed and hip should be slightly flexed. So why this is ideal? Because the muscles at this configuration are at their optimal position and they can fire rapidly and with more stress. But you will now say that this will decrease the step length, but no, step length will not decrease, but paradoxically it will increase due to the increase in flight time, which would be due to the more forceful contraction of our muscles with this leg configuration. Here what happens is, when the athlete is moving at high velocity, he will bring his leg here during the flight time and then retract it like this. So due to the rapid retraction, he will match his velocity with the ground velocity. Imagine the ground is moving with velocity v and the cartoon is stationary. He has to move with velocity v to match the ground velocity to decrease the impact forces and prevent the slipping and improve his stability. So what if he doesn't do this? If he doesn't do this, he will not be able to move effectively and he will fall like this. In this video, this bus is moving and this person doesn't move his velocity with the bus velocity and ground velocity and he falls. So in the cartoon second, we will see that the knee is slightly extended. This will place more stress on the knee, so this is not the ideal position. In 3, 4, 5 there is overstriding. Overstriding means that the distance between the body center of mass and the contact point, it is increased. What overstriding will do? Overstriding will force our knee into extension. There will be eccentric loading of our quadriceps, and there will be increased stress on hamstrings too, and the dorsiflexors of foot will also be eccentrically loaded, and it can lead to tibial stress syndrome. Now coming on to the trunk flexion extension. Your posture should be more upright for a better running performance. You should not be too much leaning forward or backward. Small thoracic inclination up to 7 degree can be there. What it will do, it will bring the center of contact closer to the body center of mass, which is ideal. And more trunk flexion extension is seen in novice runners and the older runners, and when after a long run you get fatigued. What about body torsion? Body torsion doesn't make much of a difference because it is in line with the body center of mass. But with the arm swing reduces the net metabolic energy, and arm swing also reduces the stress upon the hip and knee musculature. And it is said that arm swing is directly proportional to the time of flight. So the more the arm swing, the better time of flight and your better running performance. So now we will see what are the various running styles. These are arranged from like long flight time to short flight time and small step to large step. So first is bounce. In bounce, the flight time will be more. There will be higher vertical propulsive forces, so there are increased chances of damage to the joints. Here the athlete uses the elastic energy stored when he bounces. As you can see in this video, this is the bounce. The vertical force is more, the vertical displacement of body center of mass is more, but not forward, and the joint reaction forces are also more, so chances of injury are more in this. So next is sit. In sit, the body center of mass will be lower and there will be intermediate step frequency here. As you can see here, the body center of mass is lower, step frequency is intermediate, and the chances of injury are less in sit. Then we will see stick. This type of style is used in lower running speed, where the higher vertical peak forces are not beneficial. Example, when running with a bag or a sand, you have to decrease the vertical propulsive forces, so you can run with this stick style. Here we will see, you can see the vertical displacement also less, the flight time is less. Here the joint reaction forces will be least and chances to injury are also less. Now we will see push. In push, the steps will be larger. The duty factor is used for vertical stiffness, and I will not go into that. The propulsive forces here are mostly horizontal, and here this type of style is used to decrease the vertical propulsive forces and convert them into the horizontal propulsive forces. And here the step will be large. As you can see here, the forward push is more and vertical is less. And the step length, you can see step length is also increased. Now we will see hop. In hop, the steps are smaller, the leg extension is also less, but there is increase in step frequency, but there is insufficient leg swing, and the posture is too much upright, as we will see now. Here you can see this leg swing is less, these steps are smaller, the step frequency is increased, the step length is decreased. Here the chances of injury are less actually. So if you want to increase your running speed but you have higher chances of injury by increasing step length, you can increase the step frequency, because the chances in hop where the step frequency is more, the chances of injury are less. In next video I will bring the other aspects, like how to prevent injuries, and if injuries have happened, how to treat them in various athletes. I hope you like this video. Like, subscribe, comment and share, and see you in next video. Thank you.